starting to think I wasn't going to get a chance. I love road trips. I love driving, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I got a late start. I didn't get my driver's license or my first car until after my son was born. He's now 15, but when he was a baby, I got a '98 Toyota Corolla, and I loved that car. And because I love Peter Pan, and specifically Captain Hook, which is a whole other story for another time perhaps, I got a license plate, a vanity plate for it, that said Jolly Roger. So that became the name of my car, and everyone referred to my car as the Jolly Roger. I had a book I called the Captain's Log that I kept in the glove box, that I would record all the road trips we took and who went on them with me. And at the point where I had had the car for about 10 years, I was a single mom with 3 jobs, and I was technically sort of flush and self-sufficient, but I knew that I was precariously balanced financially, and if one little thing went wrong, I was going to be completely screwed in a hurry. And my friends Pete and Lindsay had a band called Free Breakfast, and they played every Monday night at First Capital Dispensing Company. And if you're not familiar with the First Cap, it's this tiny, smoky little bar that happens to be one of the best places for live music in downtown York. And they live about 4 blocks to the east of the First Cap, so they had a wagon, still have it, and they would load all of their gear and their instruments into this wagon and drag it back and forth the 4 blocks to these Monday night gigs at the Cap. So this was September 11th, 2012, it was a Monday. I went to the Cap to hear Free Breakfast play, and I stayed to close, at which point I helped the owner to pick up all the pint glasses, empty pint glasses around the room. I helped the band to load up the wagon, and I got in my car, and I went around the block to point myself in the direction of home. And when I got to the intersection of North Beaver and West Philadelphia streets, the light was green, but Pete and Lindsay were still pulling the wagon through the intersection. So I paused, and they made it through to the other side. They waved goodbye to me. The light is still green. I pull into the intersection, at which point a car slammed into the side of me really hard without ever hitting the brakes. And miraculously, no one was hurt, but the Jolly Roger was totaled. He had hit me so hard in the passenger side, I could not open the driver's side door to get out. This was this guy's 3rd DUI, by the way. Right, he ended up in jail, it's cool. But I didn't know what I was gonna do. If somebody hits your car, the insurance company will reimburse you for the value of the property that was destroyed. And I don't know if anybody's ever looked up the Kelley Blue Book value of a '98 Toyota Corolla. It's like $5 or something. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have money to put toward this. So I started looking at what cars are available in that price range in my area. And it's like, you know, 1984 Dodge Aries with just a little bit of rust. And with apologies to anyone who might drive an '84 Dodge Aries. I was concerned that I was gonna be driving my son around in some car that was unsafe. So I'm freaking out a little. And one of my dearest friends, Jess, had worked for years for car dealerships. And her parents own a garage, and so she knows people and knows how to handle this. So she offered to help me find a car. And about a week after she offered that, there's this evening where all these friends start calling me and saying, we're gonna stop by and say hi. And I'm like, cool, what a great coincidence. Everybody's gonna be here, it's great. So they show up at my house, and we all sit down at the kitchen table, and Jess's husband, Matt, says, it's not a coincidence that we're all here. I've been elected to speak. And I'm like, holy shit, this is an intervention. Except I don't really have any vices, so I'm like, I don't know what they're intervening about, but you know, I'm all ears. And Matt says, you know, the fact is, we didn't ask you because we knew you would say no. We were very concerned about you driving Carter in an unsafe car, so we quietly took up a collection to help supplement the insurance payout. And in less than a week, they had pulled together as much as the insurance company was going to give me. So they had effectively doubled my budget for a new car. And Jess had come up with 3 options for me of potential cars in this price range. And they spent an afternoon driving me around and test driving cars with me. And I ended up with basically the same car, another Corolla. And it was a couple years newer, a couple fewer miles. And by some miracle, when you total a car in PA, you're supposed to surrender the tag and you can't use it again. Somehow they ended up transferring the title, or the license plate, so I had the Jolly Roger still on this second car. And they gave me the list of people who had contributed, and there were people like my very good friend who lives in Hawaii, who none of them know. I still don't know how he found out about it. People that I barely knew. And I sent them all thank you notes, and they all kept coming back to me and saying, you do so much for the community. This was a great opportunity for us to find a way to say thank you to you. So my community bought me a car, and I don't think you will ever find anyone as excited to drive a Toyota Corolla as me. And I've taken a lot of road trips now in the Jolly Roger 2, and I look forward to taking many more.